Hi there, Mr. Muhammed is here. I hope this video can support you for your revision of Term 2 assessments. Make sure to have a notebook and pen to take the notes. I'm going to cover some important questions. Some important ideas, something that you have to know. And I'm going to tell you some useful hints. Make sure to take the notes whenever you need it. Okay, the first question here, we have a frequency table and we are required to find mean, mode, median, and range. I'm going to start with the easiest one, which is the mode. The mode is the most repeated one. Frequency stands for number of repeats. 10 is repeated 5 times. 12 is repeated 13 times. As you see, 14 is repeated 20 times. That's why 14 is the mode. To find the range, we subtract the smallest from the greatest. To find mode and range, we never use the frequency. Okay, so range is 14 minus 10, that gives 4. This 4 is the range. To find the median, basically there are two ways to find median. The easier way, the way that I recommend, is cancellation. We're going to cancel the frequencies until we see one frequency remains and the rest will be 0. Okay, we start here, smallest with the largest. Minus 5, it will be 0. Minus 5, it will be 15. Now the subtraction will be between 12 and 15. Minus 12, it will be 0. Minus 12, it will be 3. Now between 3 and 13. Minus 3, it will be 10. Minus 3, it will be 0. Now it's between 10 and 17. Minus 10, 0. Minus 10, 7. So as you see, only here we have a non-zero frequency. All the other frequencies became 0. So only 13 has a non-zero frequency. That means the median is 13. There's another way of finding median if you are not happy with this way. The other way is by finding the total frequency. The total frequency here using a calculator, or you can mentally calculate it. 5 plus 12 plus 13 plus 17 plus 20 equals 67. Plus 1 is 68. The total frequency plus 1. The other way of finding median, total frequency plus 1, that gives 68. Then divide by 2. 68 divided by 2 gives 34. Now add the frequencies until you can cover 34. There is no any 34 in 5. There is no any 34 in 5 plus 12. 5 plus 12 is 17. There is no any 34 in 17. 17 plus 13 is equal to 30. There is no any 34 in 30. 30 plus 17 is equal to 47. Yes, there is a 34 in 47. So this one gives you the place of the median, which is the 13. That gives the exact same answer. And finally, mean. To find mean, the best way, as you know, we need to add a new row to the table by multiplying the data by the frequency. 10 times 5 is 50. 11 times 12. 11 times 12 is 132. 12 times 13 is 156. Calculator is allowed to this unit. 13 times 17 is 221. 14 times 20 is 280. Okay, this is the new row. Now we need two cells. In the two cells, one of them contains the total frequency, the other one contains the total of the new row. We call these totals. The total frequency here is 67. The total of all of these numbers is 50 plus 132 plus 156 plus 221 plus 280 is 839. These two cells are the most important ones because throughout these two cells you can find the mean. Now the mean is 839 divided by 67, that gives 12.5223, so 12.52 is enough. Mean is 12.52. Okay, let's continue. Here we have another question. It's about percentages of lose and profit. Okay, as you look at the picture, you see the clock, it's profit, necklace is profit because the buying price is $42 and the selling price is $95, and the picture is lose because the buying price is more than the selling price. To calculate the percentage of lose or profit, we start like the selling price 205 divided by the buying price 120. The result of this division minus 1, let's see what this gives, is equal to 0.708. Multiply this decimal by 100, 0.708 times 100, it gives you the percentage of profit. So for the clock, it's 70.8% profit. So we're gonna do the same procedure for the others. The selling price divided by the buying price, then minus 1. If this result became negative, it means it's lose. If it became positive, it's profit. We don't have to write the percentage as negative. No, the negative, the sign here just tells you either it's profit or lose. Percentages of increase or decrease. In both cases, increase and decrease, sometimes it's rise or reduce. In both cases, we calculate the percentage. But in the increase, we add the result of the percentage to this total. In decrease, we're going to subtract the result of the percentage from this total. Let's do part A. 20% of 8,000 is equal to, how can we calculate this? We're going to multiply the numbers, then divide the result by 100. That gives 1,600. 20% of 8,000 is equal to 1,600. Since in part A, the question says increase, then we have to add 1,600 to the total, which is 8,000. That gives 9,600. So the crowd of people will be 9,600 people around there. Part B is decreased. But remember, in both cases, you have to calculate the percentage as the first step. Then, since part B, the question says decrease, we're going to subtract the result of the percentage from this total. 6% of 43,000 is Okay, the question says decrease. Remember, increase we add, decrease we subtract. Okay, continue. 43,000 minus 2,580 is equal to 40,420. The currency signs must always be before the numbers. The currency sign before the numbers. Units must be always after the numbers. Part C, the mass of a 3.20 kilogram baby increases by 80%. 80% of 3.20 is equal to 2.56. The question says increase. We're gonna add 3.20, which is the total mass of the newborn baby, plus 2.56 equals 5.76. Units, kilogram, must go after the number, and currency signs like dollars, pounds, euro, Japanese yen must go before the numbers. Tessellation, when you look at the shapes, tessellation means the shapes when you fit them together, there is no any gap between them, so this is tessellation because there is no any gap between them. Parallelogram is tessellation. This kind of 12-sided shape is tessellation because there is no any gap between the shapes after we fit them together. But this group, none of them are tessellation. Circle cannot be tessellated because when you put circles together, you see gap between them. It's not tessellation. Octagons alone cannot be tessellation because there is a gap between them when we fit them together. Pentagons cannot be tessellation because there is a gap between them when we fit them together. That's how we work on them, on diagrams. As the calculation, sometimes you see that check if a regular hexagon is a tessellation. To do that, firstly, hexagon has 6 sides. The first step is always like this, 360 divided by 6. This 6 is number of sides. 360 divided by 6 is equal to 60. Step 2 is always 180 minus the result of step 1, that gives 120. Step 3, 360 again, divide by the result of step 2. If you got a whole number here, so it means you have tessellation. If you got a decimal number in this step, it means it's not tessellation. Let's continue on the hexagon. 360 divided by 120 is equal to 3. As you see, it's a whole number. It means hexagon could be tessellated. Hexagon is tessellation. But if you do the same thing for pentagon, you see a decimal here. It means it's not tessellation. You can do it yourself. You can do it for octagon. Why octagon cannot be tessellated? Because when you divide 360 by 8, you get 45. Then 180 minus 45 gives you 135. And the third step, 360 divided by 135, gives you a decimal number 2.666. It means octagon cannot be tessellated. About solving equations, let's solve the first equation. 4x plus 8 is equal to 14. we can straight away say minus 8 both sides. Then this 8 will be cancelled. What's remaining on the side is 4x is equal to 14 minus 8 is 6. 4x is equal to 6. Now divide 4 both sides. Divide 4. Divide 4. Finally, x is equal to 6 over 4. It's so fine if you leave your answer as fraction. It's okay. Or you can divide 6 by 4 and get the result as decimal. It's also acceptable. We can say x is equal to 1.5. Both fine, no problem. Let's do question 2b. A plus 15 is equal to 4a. Since we have a on both sides, it's better to get rid of a on one of the sides. I see minus a is easier because I don't get any negative. Then a will be cancelled here. 4a minus a, what's remaining on the side is 3a. 3a is equal to 15. Straight away you can see that a is equal to 5 because 3 times 5 is equal to 15. Or you can say divide both sides by 3. Divide 3. Divide 3. This 3 will be cancelled. 15 divided 3 is 5. So in both cases you get a is equal to 5. A is equal to 5 is exactly the same as 5 is equal to 8. There is no difference between these two expressions. Simultaneous equations. There are 3 ways to solve simultaneous equations. We can use substitution method, we can use elimination, or graphical. Here I'm going to solve these couple of equations simultaneously. Let's start with substitution. Here we have y is equal to 3 bracket x plus 5. So I'm going to write this highlighted one instead of this y. Why? Because we know y is equal to this. So it's okay if I write this one instead of this. That's why this method is called substitution, because I'm going to substitute this highlighted part instead of this one. Let's rewrite the equation and how it looks. 2x plus 3 bracket x plus 5 equals 0. In this step, since I substituted this bracket instead of y, you should not see any y in this step. Now I just have x's and numbers. Okay, whenever we have brackets, the first thing you're gonna do is expanding. 2x plus 3x plus 15 is equal to 0. Now 2x plus 3x is equal to 5x plus 15 is equal to 0. To have x alone on a side, minus the opposite of this is minus 15. Minus 15 to both sides. Okay, what's remaining here is only 5x. 5x is equal to negative 15. So from this, x is equal to negative 3, because only negative 3 times 5 gives negative 15. I got the value of x. Okay, let's keep this to find y. Now I'm going to put negative 3 in place of x, and I'm going to work out the value of y. It's okay to use any of the equations, so usually use the easier one. Use the easier one. Here, I see this one is easier. Y equals 3 times x is negative 3 plus 5. X is negative 3. I got it from here. Negative 3 plus 5 is 2. And 2 times 3 is 6. So y is equal to 6 is the value of y. Whenever you solve simultaneous equations, you must get a value of x and another value or the same value of y. Then done. If you just find x, your answer is not complete. This time we use elimination. Using elimination, we are going to subtract the equations, or sometimes we add the equations. It's based on the types of variables. To solve this couple of equations simultaneously using elimination, we look at the variables. If we have the same variable with the same sign repeated, we subtract the equations. If we have the same variable with different sign, we add the equations. If we don't have both, okay, here we don't have the same variable repeated. Okay, we are going to make the same variables. If we multiply the second one by 4, simply we will have negative 4y here. Okay, this one, multiply the second equation by 4 and see 2x times 4, it will be 8x minus 4y equals 12. This is the second equation. And the first equation is 3x plus 4y is equal to 10. Now we focus on these two equations. Highlighted equations, as you see, 4y is positive here, 4y is negative here. We made the same variables. Since they have different sign, we are going to add the highlighted equations together. Okay, 3x plus 8x, that gives 11x. 4y with negative 4y, it will be cancelled, 0. 10 plus 12 is equal to 22. 11 times x is equal to 22. Divide both sides by 11, you get that x is equal to 2. Using the value of x, easily we can get the value of y. You can use any of these three equations. Let's use the first one. 3 times 2 plus 4y is equal to 10. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 4y is equal to 10. Subtract 6 from both sides. You see 4y is equal to 4. That means y is equal to 1. We got the value of x. We got the value of y. Done. Okay, this question is just about writing these number line as inequality. There is only one point. If the beginning of the arrow is closed, the sign will be like this or like this. But when the beginning of the arrow is open, is not shaded like this one here, the sign will be greater or less than. There is no equal under any of these, but for the closed ones, there must be an equal with it. Okay, this one, we can express this as x. These numbers are getting smaller, so the numbers are less than or equal to 2. All the numbers here, they are either less than 2 or equal to 2 because of this closed one. B, we can say x and y, any letter is okay. Let's say y is greater than negative 2 because all of these numbers are greater than negative 2. C, x is greater than or equal to 10. Can we write it like this? Yes, there's no difference between these two. They are equal. X is more than or equal to 10 because all of these numbers are more than 10. That's what we wrote. D, it's about negative 20. Let's write the negative 20. All the numbers that are under this arrow all of them are less than negative 20. Whatever you name it is okay. Let's say Q. Q is less than negative 20. Since the beginning of the line is open, it's not shaded, it's not closed, that's why there is no equal under this sign. Question 8. Solving inequalities. There is no such a huge difference between solving inequalities or solving equations. Let's solve the first one. Whenever you see solve, it means keep x alone on a side and numbers on the other side. 4x plus 12 is more than or equal to 40. Firstly, we need to get rid of the 12, minus 12, minus 12. Then what's remaining on the side is 4x greater than or equal to 40 minus 12 is equal to 28. Then to get rid of this 4, we divide both sides by 4. Divide 4, divide 4. And cx is greater than or equal to 7. This is the solution. Whenever you see brackets, expand the brackets, then do the similar steps, you get the solution. This one, sometimes we have problems related to inequalities. The parameter of this shape is less than 50. Then we're going to write an inequality to represent this. We add all the sides because the question is about parameter. X plus 1 plus x plus x plus 1. I started here. Plus x plus x plus 1 plus x plus x plus 1 plus x. This one is equal to how many x's are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that will be 6x plus 3. 6x plus 3. The sum of all the sides together is 6x plus 3. But the question says the parameter is less than 50. It means this sum, this 6x plus 3, 6x plus 3 is less than 50. Okay. To solve this, we start by subtracting 3 from both sides. Minus 3 minus 3. So 6x is less than 47. Then to get rid of the 6, we divide both sides by 6. X is less than 47 over 6. This is the solution. Converting square units or cubic units. Firstly, work out 1 meter square is how many centimeters square. Then multiply your result by 4 to get the answer. Okay, usually we know 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. When the meter becomes square, so on this side, because of this 2, we need to copy 2 hundreds. 100 times 100 centimeter square. 100 times 100 is equal to 10,000. So always 1 meter square is equal to 10,000 centimeters square. We're going to do the same steps for centimeter and millimeter. Same. Okay. Now we know the scale. 1 meter square is 10,000 centimeter squares. What about 4 meters square? Easily 4 meters square. 4 meters square is 40,000 centimeter square. The relation between centimeter and millimeter is like 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. When the centimeter becomes square, then the millimeter, because of this 2, we need to write 10 twice. 10 times 10 millimeter square. So 1 centimeter square is equal to 100 millimeters square. What about 8 centimeters square? 8 centimeters square is 800 millimeter square. The same thing is right for cubic units. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. When the meter becomes cube, because of this 3, we are going to repeat the 100 3 times. 100 times 100 times 100, that gives 1 million centimeter cube. 1 meter cube is 1 million centimeter cube. What about 7 meter cube? 7 meter cube is 7 million centimeter cube. The same thing between centimeter and millimeter. We know 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. When the centimeter becomes cube, the 10 will be repeated 3 times. So 1 centimeter cube is 1000 millimeter cube. 3 centimeter cube is 3000 millimeter cube. Finding the area of compound shapes like this, here we have a square and we have a quarter of a circle. So we know the radius from here to there, this line is equal to this one, and it's 4.5. The area of the circle, is pi 4.5 square. Pi times 4.5 square, pi times 4.5 square is equal to 63.61. 63.61. But this 63.61 is the area for the whole circle. We need only 1/4 of this area. So 63.61 divided by 4 will be the area of this circular part. When we divide by 4, it will be 15.9. Okay, we got the area of the circular part. The area of square is 4.5 times 4.5. That gives 20.25. The total area is 20.25 plus 15.9, which is equal to 36.15. The units are meter here, so it will be meter square because it's area. For this shape, we have a triangle and 2 semicircles. When we have 2 semicircles, we can consider them as one whole circle. So we calculate the area of one circle only. The area of one circle with the diameter 3.6. The diameter is 3.6. What about the radius? The radius is 1.8. So the area of the circle is pi times 1.8 square, which is 10.17. This is the area of the circular part. The area of the triangle looks like this. Area of triangle is base times height divided by 2. The base is starting from here all the way to there. So 3.6 plus 3.6 is equal to 7.2. The base is 7.2 times the height is 2.8, and this result should be divided by 2, because this is the rule of the area of triangle, is BH over 2, base times height divided by 2, 10.08. Then the total area is 10.17 plus 10.08, that gives 20.25. The total area for this shape is 20.25. The units are centimeters, so this is centimeter square. Volume. To find the volume, we are going to find the area of the cross-section part and multiply it by the length, or if the shape is standing like this, we multiply the area of the cross-section multiplied by the height. The cross-section here is triangle. Area of triangle, you know, it's 5 times 12 base times height over 2. 5 times 12 is 60, divided by 2 is 30 centimeter square. The area cross section, this one is called cross section. Cross section is 30 times 15.4. Cross section area, which is 30, times the length gives the volume. V equals 30 times 15.4, which is equal to 462. They are all in centimeters, so this one will be centimeter cube because it's volume. To find the surface area, look at the shape. We have two identical triangles. We have one rectangle in the base, one rectangle in the back, and one rectangle on the top. We are going to find the area of each rectangle separately, and we know the area of the triangles, the cross section. Then surface area is like 30, it's the area of the side, plus 30, the area of this triangular face, plus the area of this rectangle. This rectangle is 13 by 15.4, so 13 times 15.4, plus the area of the rectangle in the back, which is 5 by 15.4, 5 times 15.4, plus the area of this ground, the rectangular face, which is down, is 12 by 15.4. 12 times 15.4. Using a calculator, add all of these numbers, multiply them, add them together, that gives you the total surface area. For cylinder, again we follow the same procedure. The cross-section area, the area of the base here, since the base is circle, then the area of the base is pi cross-section area. Cross-section area is pi 20 square. Pi 20 square is equal to 400 pi. It's fine to keep pi in your answers for simplicity. It's also okay if you change it to decimal. 400 times pi is equal to 1256.63. This one is also acceptable. Since these are in millimeters, this one is millimeter square. Then cross-section area times height will be the volume. 1256.63 times 14 is equal to 17,592. Since this part is volume, it will be millimeter cube. To find the surface area, look at the shape. We have two circles, one on the top, one on the base, and we have a rectangular face between them. So we need to have the area of two circles, which is 1256. We found the area of the circles before. Area of two circles means 2 times 1256.63 plus the area of this curvy face between them. The area of this face between the two circles is like this: 2 pi times the area of this curvy face is 2 pi times 20, 2 pi r, 2 pi 20 times 14. And finally, the surface area of the cylinder is it's equal to 4,272.55. Since this is surface area and they are in millimeters, area is always in square units. Volume is always in cubic units. I hope you find this helpful. Thank you.